Thank you all for being here. We have a lot of activities that are going to be ongoing in the next 2 to 3 years. America's 250th birthday, the World Cup, the Olympics, not to mention the normal pace that we keep up with just normal events around the country. So I'll start by saying thank you. The work that you do is incredibly important. I have visited several fusion centers, and Mr. Sinha, I appreciate just how nuanced it is. And agree with my colleague, Mr. Crane, that if this is not bipartisan, if we can't move in a bipartisan way to fund the security of our homeland, then what are we doing? And let's get to some of those questions about just how important it is. So given the activity that we have seen from the cartels recently that have happened in Mexico in the last 3 to 4 days, what kind of threat are we looking at the possibility? Is this something that you're concerned about? Mr. Sinha, I'll ask you, what can the fusion centers be doing? What are they doing to mitigate that threat?
Transnational organized crime groups out there are a tremendous threat to our country. Fusion centers and the HIDAs and our risk partners have worked for a long time to fight those threats. But every day we see this increase in rhetoric, and not only that, now we see violence south of our border. They are not that far away to cause problems here. And our country is a location where they raise funds, and we are the source of their income. But we don't know how they will react to whatever threat they perceive from anyone, whether it be Mexico or the United States, and what harm they may cause. I mean, right now with fentanyl trafficking, and I think we've discussed this, privately, is that I had over and still have over 500 Hondurans that have been operating in our region. At one point, all selling dope in a square mile area in San Francisco. We have fought back on that, thanks to the support of the city and county of San Francisco, the mayor's office, the district attorney, the police chief, and the sheriff, as well as the United States Attorney's Office and our DAs from around the region and sheriffs and other chiefs of police. We are going to be receiving an award for the HIDA program for our San Francisco Metro Task Force because we have pushed back on that. The city is a much cleaner place. It's a much safer place. People are not dying in the numbers and droves that they were in that city before. But we cannot turn our backs on these groups because they continue to be a major threat. And when we talk about special events, those folks are there to sell fentanyl, to sell dangerous drugs, and to sell human beings. And there's no reason they can't turn to violence while they're there, depending on what the geopolitical environment is at the time.
Well, thank you for that. Chief Maven, thank you for being here. From the local and state level, how important is it to have qualified INA personnel deployed to the fusion centers? What kind of information do you need? How do you work together? Give us a sense of what we just heard mitigating these threats.
Thank you. It's absolutely important to have them work in the fusion center. We can't just show up one day in the middle of a critical incident and start working together. So we have to have them embedded in the fusion center real time for months in advance, years in advance, to establish those relationships. They act as a critical bridge between other cities, between the IC community and local law enforcement to be able to push out intelligent products and safely secure these events. So it is critical.
Let's talk about drones. That was a previous discussion. Just looking at the rapid expansion, I know there's many drone incursions that happen on the southwest border. We saw one in El Paso recently, or I think alleged that it was a drone activity. What can we be doing? How do the fusion centers react? And what is the threat that we're worried about mitigating at the major events in the next year, Mr. Sinha?
For me, it's having state and local partners, not just with the authorities, but the tools and resources to prevent the threat. Without those, we're lost. The other piece of this is that the ability for drones to carry a payload, even if it's a small payload, can cause panic. If it's a white powder dropped, well, who knows what that is? Stampede alone will injure people. Even worse if it's some type of poison that could harm people, like fentanyl. There are a lot of threats out there, but we need the resources, early detection, and that integration, like we see in Las Vegas, where we have Federal Air Marshal Service personnel in the fusion center. We need the people in the center. That's the whole purpose of a fusion center, is to bring people together. So without those federal, state, and local resources in the same place at the same time, looking for the same threats, we're going to miss things.
Thank you. My time has expired.